Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hidden Brick, where today we're doing the next part of the build of the LEGO Technic CLAAS Xerion 5000 Trac VC. This is how far we made it in all of the other parts. So this is basically all the bags number one. We've completed the whole tractor. So what is left? We have bags number two. I've already opened them all up, sorted the parts. So what are we building? There's a front counterweight piece that's going to go up here, and then there's going to be a crane portion back here. So it's a pretty cool little set. Funny story though, after I finished all the bags one, I noticed there was two parts left over that shouldn't have been left over because they were pretty big pieces. One was a axle joiner, and I was able to figure out that I missed one over here. So it was basically like one of these pieces was left over. The second piece was a black bevel gear. It was actually one of these pieces. And I knew that LEGO doesn't give you those big pieces as extra parts. They usually give you like a small pin or something, you know, something more like along this line, something real small that could potentially get lost, but not a giant gear. So I ended up going through and looking to see where I possibly could have missed one. It was right in the middle of the whole gear train of this tractor. So what I had to do, it was it's actually up under, see that tan gear? There's a gear right above that. That's where it was supposed to go, and I missed it. So what I had to do was disassemble the whole back side of this to get into that area. I was able to get there, drop the gear in, push everything back in, and we're good to go. So the function so far is there's a on-off switch. So this turns the motor on. Now once it's on, it's kind of in neutral position. So then we have a switch here that when I click that, you can see the cabin rotates around to the back. And it stops. So it stops there, which is really cool. So then I can put it back in the neutral position, and then I can click it back up, and it rotates back around facing the front. And it's cool because once it gets to the front, it actually stops. So there's a limiter that prevents it from going any further. So that's really all the functions that we have right now that are controlled by the battery box. The crane part back here is going to be motor operated as well, but we have to build it. So that's what we're going to do now. So let me reorient my camera ever so slightly to where we can get a better view of what I'm building. We'll go ahead and do that position there. All right, so we're going to start with this little Technic piece. So I imagine we're maybe going to take two more videos to finish this off. I don't expect it to go much further than that. I'd love to get all this done in one video, but sometimes Technic takes a little while to get all the pieces put together right. So the crane is mostly all red colored. So you'll notice as we're building this, there's going to be a lot of red. But we're starting from the inside out, so we've got some gray colors along with some red mixed in. Friction pins. These are going to both. Let's see, we turn this around. It goes there and there. I have another two connectors that are identical, with more friction pins in them. frame shapes. Alright, now we have some thin lift arms. Pulling all the parts together. So these have these brown axles with a stop in them. Slipped out of my hand. Went flying across the table. Looks like I'm able to save it. Alright, so those both go there. Now we have these 5 long axles with stops. And these go in until they stop. So there is an actual stop position. We have 2 non-friction pins. We're going to put these pin bushings on them. Alright, that goes there. Looks like it's going to hold that piece in place. I have a 7 long yellow axle. Still kind of getting used to them, changing the colors of these axles. Slide in here, but we need to put a bushing in there before it goes all the way in. Now we have another one of these pin axle connectors. That's going to go like that. See, 2 of these and 2 of these guys. Now we have 4 of these dark bluish gray panels that just slide over these axles. And that is our counterweight. So we'll bring the tractor over right here on the front. Okay, they show this pulled up, this pulled out. Slid in here. Then we push it in, fold this down. Alright, so that has it locked in place. Next we have a axle with a stop, the black bevel gear, and a bushing. That's going to go in the side. We're going to repeat that for the other side. Okay. So you can see I can turn it and it goes down. Turn it this way. It goes up. Slow because it's a small mini linear actuator, but you can see it does go up and down, or hopefully you can see that. Alright, move that to the side. That's our counterweight. Now is the crane part. So I thought we were building the crane first, but we weren't. This is going to be the crane. Alright, so we have a bushing, axle joiners, it's kind of one of those things that when you build it, you don't quite know what you're building yet. So we're kind of setting the foundation for everything. Got a couple thin lift arms. Some 7 long lift arms. Gonna make 2 of them the same. Alright, I think I put that on backwards. Yep, I did. It should be like this. This is kind of how Technic can be very confusing to some people, because you have to really pay attention to the instructions. So if you rotate it the wrong way, or forget an axle halfway through, or a gear for that matter, it gets all messed up. Alright, next we have 2 of these guys, 2 3 long friction pins, slide one in there, push it through. So basically what we're building is little modules that we'll kind of put together as we get them built. So this one's kind of done for now. So So we're moving on to this module. Okay, all that looks good. Pop these pieces in. Alright, now we have a little bevel gear, a red axle, and a red axle joiner. Have another bevel gear that goes there. And then we connect this 3-long axle with a 16-tooth gear on there. And repeat that for the other side. So we have our gear, axle, and another bevel gear. Turn this way. That connects in there. Very good. Now we have this axle that has a stop kind of 1/4 of the way over. Slide this tan bevel gear in there and then attach it to that axle connector. Two of these frame pieces. Alright, we have this universal joint connecting a couple axles to it. An 11 long yellow axle. I'm going to try to sandwich this in between these two pieces. Looks like we got it. And then try to center it the best you can. That looks pretty good. And this will go right here. Now we have a 9-long axle that will slide through this piece, kind of interlock all of this together. Once again, I'm trying to center it the best I can. All right. push it on a table, it helps push those axles through a little bit, so you can help center it a little bit more. So that looks pretty even on both sides. All right, making sure everything still turns since we're a little bit ways into it. Don't want to get too far and then realize it's stuck and doesn't turn. Okay. Next we have a couple little twinsy things we're going to make. Grab all the parts to make them. Alright, so we take this axle with a stop on it, put a bushing on, a selector gear, the selector switch piece, axle, and another gear. Okay, both of these will just fall right down in place in there. So that's our little transmission area. Another gear right next to this one. That actually does not interlock with those gears at all. It's weird. Unless I'm doing something wrong, it's not interlocking. All right. This piece slides in over these black pieces, looks like. Looks good so far. Bushing, an axle connector, a bevel gear, 3 long and a 4 long. So this one interlocks with that black gear. Push the red side in there. Now we have this large gear and a smaller gear. non-friction pin, and then another one of these selector gears that goes right there. Another 16-tooth gear. This one goes there. Another gear. So this is a pretty intense gearbox we're building. This one goes like that. I'm gonna go there. So we'll push this module off to the side. We have a turntable piece to build. So this is one of those clicks of no return. Once I put it on here, it's not coming off. So pretty loud snap, so you kind of know it's on there. There's no denying that. Alright, we have this piece in here. Two of these. 4 long axles. Quite a bit of stuff going on here. Seven long left arm with 2 friction pins. This goes on the bottom of this. Let's see, looks like I accidentally skipped a step over here. Back up. All I missed was some friction pins. But I noticed it because when the next step told me to put this on there, there was no pins there. I said to myself, hey, where'd all that come from? Alright, 4 more friction pins. Alright, we turn it over. Bring this guy over. And our yellow axle should be lined up right in that center hole, which it is. So now I have 2 of these. And a bushing in the middle. Gear there. And 2 of the number 9s. Or the 9 long lift arms. Alright, we have a few stickers. Oh, these are going to be the last two stickers. So sticker number 22 goes here. And you know what time it is? It is last sticker time with this guy right here. Alright, so that is going to complete this portion of the build. We have one more part left. We're going to finish off the crane and we will attach it to the tractor and have some fun with it. So appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to check out all my other videos. If you missed any of the parts for this build, I have them all in a Technic playlist. So if you like Technic, there's a ton of Technic videos on my channel, including the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. It's a cool little set. Check it out.